I am a big fan of having a start-stop button and a speed control on the Pfaff Quilt Ambition 630. Here's a couple ways that I do use this. Number one, if you were to forget your foot control and you were sewing somewhere else, you can sew with your start-stop button. So you don't even need the foot control. And I'm still going backwards because we were just showing you the reverse button. All right, going forward now, you can touch it and it will sew. And if that's too fast, slow the speed down. Let's see what it looks like all the way at the slowest speed. Now look how tame that is. If you were going to have a youngster learn to sew, my daughter learned to sew at this speed using a start-stop button. It was a lot easier than her foot on the foot control and not knowing how far down to push it. She was very comfortable touching it, watching it sew, and touching it to stop it. Then, as she became a little bit more adventurous, you could watch her slide the speed up for a little faster, traveling down the fabric, but knowing she could always touch this. It also allowed her to use the thread Snips button, and that's nice because it cuts the thread and brings the needle to the highest position. So that means when you finish a stitch, that stitch and the needle and the thread and the take-up lever are all in the right position. So when you go to start again, you don't have to hold your threads. You do find that everything is where it's supposed to be, and it's very easy for somebody to learn to sew with these features. The other thing that I do like it for, the start-stop button that is when I sew out my stitch book. Now we'll be talking about our stitch books as we go throughout these videos. So let's say you're picking a decorative stitch and you're sewing a sample of all the stitches. Now there's links below this YouTube video where you can learn how to stitch out the ultimate stitch book. This machine's got 221 stitches plus the alphabet. It's going to take you a little time, not a lot, but it is a fun way to get comfortable with your machine. So it's a great first time project. So here we can pick a decorative stitch and push the start stop button, and it will just sew all the way down. And then when you're ready to have it end, towards the end, you can reach up here and touch the thread snips. It will finish the pattern, lock it, and then cut it, and then stop, and you lift it up, and you have the perfect finish to that row of stitching. Then you put your fabric back in again. You could arrow, let's go ahead, go up to stitch number 74, because I was on 73. Put the presser foot right next to where you were before, and stitch again. And so it's so much fun. You get to see how the machine is forming these stitches. You get to see how cool these stitches look on fabric, because trust me, if you just look at them up here, it's not the same as seeing them stitched out. And I bet some of you have some variegated thread that would even liven up these stitches even more. When you're ready, touch the thread snips. It finishes the pattern, it locks it, it cuts it, you lift the foot up, and you pull it out. So this is a great way to sew out a little sampling of everything that's in your machine using the start-stop button.